Art in the Boxes. It's me, Kim. Guys, I have to show off my new apron. Yes, I had a few aprons made. Art in the Box apron. Super proud of this. Okay. To protect my clothes, because sometimes art can be really, really messy. And today's activity could be exactly that. Okay. Important, once again, to put an old t-shirt on or an art apron, to lay out your surface with newspaper or old piece of paper that you have lying around to protect the surface, especially when you paint. Okay. Today's activity is going to be a self-portrait. This is what we're going to be doing. That's me. I don't know where my pink streak is, but anyway. Okay, so first things first, make sure that you get all your goodies out of your box that you need, which is a blank piece of white cardboard, your A4 canvas, you'll get a pair of scissors, you'll get a paintbrush, not an old looking one like mine, but a new one. And you'll be getting a Koki, a black Koki, not necessarily what I'm using, an Artline Koki, but you'll get your own very own black Koki, as well as your glue stick. You'll get your paper plate to put your paints in. You'll be getting yellow, as well as the beautiful light blue. It looks like ice cream blue. Okay, so yours will come in a little pot. It won't come in these big jars. Okay. Guys, when painting, always have an old cloth, or I just use paper towel to maybe wipe your hands, or if you have any spills, just make sure that it's around and close nearby. Very important, we're using non-toxic acrylic paint. Also with acrylic is how we clean brushes, with water. Because with oil paints, you need turpentine to clean your brushes, but water does the trick with acrylic. Okay, so the reason why I thought of this self-portrait, this is for the adults, because you're also important, is that self-portrait can reveal many things about the child. How they feel about themselves, how they look and see, and what perception they have of themselves. It also focuses on their fine motor skills, and just focusing on skills basically, because there's quite a lot involved here. So the skills needed is painting, cutting, drawing, so there's quite a bit involved all in one. Okay. Remember, don't put pressure on your kids to say this is right, that's wrong. Let them draw what they see, and especially 3-year-olds, because they kind of just stick to figurines, you know. We can't expect them to draw this most perfect portrait of themselves, because they're drawing what they see. So the whole aim of this is to keep this, okay, keep this portrait once they're finished and done with it, and go back in a couple of months' time and have a look and see how they've developed in their drawing skills, how they've added extra parts on, like they might have 2 eyes instead of 1, or they might have forgotten a nose or 1 ear. You will see how they have developed. And this is actually a wonderful experiment. So then you know you're on the right track. But with this skill as well, I think it's important that we say, yes, we have 2 eyes, not just 1, 2 ears. And especially like our neck area, they don't see it at a very young age. So don't forget about the neck, because the neck makes our head turn, or, you know, just keep them like going and talking, because language teaches them so much. So just keep on that track when doing this project. Okay, So I think I've said enough about that. So now let's start. Right, let's just cut the plastic off the canvas. Oopsie. Oh, you see how dangerous a pair of scissors can be. And this is why I want adult supervision. I'm an adult, but sometimes I don't think so. I do silly things like that. So take your plastic off. Okay. Right. Put it flat. We're going to put some yellow paint in our paper plate. Okay. However much you want, because we're going to, as you see in my background, now you see this is where having old piece of newspaper also works, takes the paint off the brush, but I'm going to dip it into my water to clean it. Take my paper towel, just so that I don't mix the colors, guys, because you know what, if I'm going to mix the light blue with the yellow, it's going to turn green. Can you believe it? That's how wonderful paint is. Then I'm going to take some blue. This is beautiful. It looks like a sky blue. A little bit of the backgrounds of skies, because they're also not one color, are they? Okay, so now I have my paints out on my paper plate. I'm going to clean my brush again. Make sure that I've got to start with a clean brush. Take my paper towel or my newspaper. You can tear off pieces of newspaper and also clean your brush. Okay, so as you can see in my picture, I did a little bit of an abstract theme. Okay, it's going to teach them what abstract art is. Excuse me. It's basically, abstract art is like colors, lines, and shapes. It's not one specific drawing. It's all colors, lines, and shapes. Okay, so that's what I want them to experiment with. So what I started off with was circles. Introduce them to circles. So just do a twirly-whirly shape. Add as much paint as you want, as long as it's not too thick. There's no right and wrong with abstract, which is a wonderful form of art. Put a line down here. Oops, maybe hold it with one hand. That would work. Right, you can see I just dab my brush every now and again as soon as the paint leaves the brush. So what I'm doing here is just adding my own lines, whatever direction they want to go in. Okay. Right, so I'm just following what my brain tells me. Then, okay, let's just do one of those, because now we're adding shapes. Okay, we've got our color. Now we're just adding shapes. Oops, you'll see some thicker parts or blobs just blended out with your brush. Guys, also notice how they hold their brush. Okay, I think they have more control at the bottom of their brush than here, because there's no control. Almost hold it like a pencil. And as you see, depending on the direction they go, do up and down motions. Up and down, up, down, up, down. If you want to go sideways, you always turn the canvas around. Right. Up, down, up, down. Okay, or sideways, as I'm busy doing. So obviously with a circle, it's a little more kind of intense for them, but just maybe draw on a piece of paper before you actually go onto your canvas, just to practice. As I always say, practice makes perfect. So I'm going to do one of those half moon shapes here. Okay, this is where your artistic ability comes in, because as I always say, art is never right and wrong, and especially with abstract. That's the fun part of abstract. Right, so I'm almost there. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that. I always clean my brush before using the next color. Okay, so make sure that you've got as you can see, I've got an old jar that I've kept, put clean water in, and I just wipe my brush, because if it's got too much water in it, it thins the paint out and becomes very sloppy on your canvas. I don't think it's too important that you wait for your canvas to dry, because yellow and blue make green, that you'll probably get a little bit of green effects on the outline, which is actually quite interesting. Okay, so let's start. So I'm going to just fill in the gaps. Whoa, look, you can already see the green there, which I love. So in hindsight, we're actually adding green to this painting. So wherever I see a gap of the white canvas, okay, you just fill in with the blue. Do your twirly bits. Okay, the more paint you use, the darker the blue will come out, as you see here. I like to paint my edges of my canvas to finish it off. Okay, there we go. That should do it. Then I go to the new shape. Okay, you can see I haven't finished that off, because maybe I want to go with finer lines, because there are different angles to a brush. Okay, so you get the straight edge, which gives you finer lines, and you get the belly of the brush, which gives you thicker lines. So I'm going to draw this, paint this a solid triangle, because that's what it actually is. Oh yes, I like that. You see how the green comes out of it when you mix the yellow and the green? Very, very exciting. Okay, let's carry on. Do that stripe, and this stripe. Whatever shapes they want, whatever they want to do, just follow their idea. Guide them, and I always say motivate them and encourage them to do what they think is right. Okay, you can see some areas are thicker than others. You know what, you can even use your finger. Sometimes I do. I just slap it on the paint, the paper at least. And look, oh, you can see you can add a green, because both the paints are still wet. So you can add a green if you want. That's actually a good idea. There we go. So let them maybe use their finger, because it's also good for sensory touch and feel. They might not want to, but ask them to give it a go. Let's just soften the edges. Okay, I love what I've done. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush again, because I'm going to give yellow another turn. Also, I'm going to start using the tip of my brush. You can see I'm dabbing that way. Okay, not flat on the tip, because I want a finer stripe here. Okay, right, I'm happy with that. Clean your brush once again. I'm going to add more blue, because I see I've run out. You can always add as you go along. Try not to waste, guys. Okay, so I'm going to paint this triangle, that blue color. Love it! You see how beautiful that looks? Because the paint with the yellow and the blue mixes in the brush. and it turns into this masterpiece of an abstract. Okay, I'm going to give you a big fancy word of a very well-known abstract artist, Kandinsky. Ask mom or dad to Google it, and maybe you can learn a little bit about him and how famous he is with his ideas, because my personal opinion is that abstract art is actually quite difficult, because you're not seeing, you can see something in your mind, but you don't have it in front of you. So if you're good with that, which I'm sure there many of you are, you'll do a fantastic job. Right, so I'm finished with my painting. I'm just going to put the lids back on my tubs of paint, because acrylic dries actually super quickly. Okay, so I'm going to put that to one side. Okay, as you can see, I was also very happy with what I did here. You can see how the green reflects in between the blue and the yellow. Right, okay, I'm just taking some paint off the surface of my paper before I start drawing a picky of myself. Right, take your Koki, take your white piece of cardboard paper. Right, so we're going to if you have to look in the mirror and see, please do, because you know, some of us have freckles, some of us have small eyes, small mouth, big mouth. Let's start. Always draw a circle for your face. Okay. Then go down your body, okay, and think what you have. So I have 2 eyes. I've got these round circles in my eyes called pupils, right? As you all see, I've got long eyelashes, can't live without them. Okay. Right, I'm happy with my eyes. Going down, I've got a nose. I can't do without a nose. Do a shape that you see. Okay. Then you have to have a smiley face, guys. Big smiley face. I have a few freckles on my nose, so I'm going to put little dots as freckles. Right. Then we have a neck. We need this neck. It's there for a reason. We have a neck. Then we have this beautiful body. If you want to draw it in a box shape, please do. If you want to draw another shape for your body, go for it. 2 arms, 5 fingers on each hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going down the body. We've got 2 legs and feet. If you want to add the toes, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. If you want to add a belly button, you can. Some people get very ticklish with their belly button. Right. So we're going to start from the top again. We need hair. Do you have a fringe? We're going to draw a fringe in. Do we have long hair, short hair, curly hair, straight hair? We all look so different. Okay, so I'm going to do long hair because that's what I have. I'm going to do a little flick. A little flick. Right. Draw what you see in the mirror. Do you have long, short hair? Let's add our little ears on the side. So I think that's important to me. That's how I see me. And you are going to see yourself differently. And that's what's fun about this. Take your pair of scissors. Don't cut on the edge of your picture because we're cutting like a frame around it. Okay. So you can see I'm just cutting quite roughly. Guys, always remember to go from back to front, back to front, back to front. If you don't get it right, ask the person that is assisting you with this project to help you, because some angles might be more difficult than others. But as I always say, give it a go. You never know. I rhyme. Do you know what rhyme is? It means the words match. They sound the same. So here we go. Okay, so I've got this beautiful square body. If you want a circle or if you want a triangle, please go for it, because we're also going to learn about shapes during this project. Okay, nearly there. Almost. My beautiful long locks. Goodness. Right, so we finished cutting it out. And we take our canvas. Obviously, guys, mine is not dry yet, as you can see. Wait till it's bone dry before you stick your drawing on. Like I did here, I made sure that my canvas was dry before I stuck my picture on. So obviously we're making like the canvas is dry. We're going to use a generous amount of glue on the edges. Okay, we just follow the shape. Jelly beans can do this. No problemo. This is fun. Okay. So we're going to place it in the middle of our canvas. As you can see, my canvas is not dry, so the paint has spilt onto the picture. But these things happen if you don't have patience. And this is what art also teaches us. So just bear that in mind. Okay, guys. Looks like I've got a set of twins here. Look at that. Oops. Ah, sister and sister. Guys, I honestly hope that you enjoy this. Remember not to rush it. Remember, words say 1,000 things, and enjoy and have fun. Lots of love. Till next time.